Hey everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name's Ryan.
My name is Vino.
And today we're super excited to be reviewing the KC1 by Standout, which is the very first ever Kevlar edgeless paddle. Make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video to hear how you can get your hands on this paddle, as we'll be giving one away. So Vino, lots and lots of hype around the KC1. It sold out immediately. We were super fortunate to get our hands on one. So let's hear your initial thoughts on this paddle and what makes it so special.
I am just blown away by this. Two knockout paddles. We just reviewed the CF3.
Yep.
Enjoyed that.
Absolutely.
And she comes out with this. This carbon fiber Kevlar mix surface, edgeless. Overall just feels awesome. And I went through my whole collection, and this grip, the way it feels in your hand, it's really nice. It really feels
nice and plush.
It's
soft.
very plush, it's very soft. And I'll talk a little bit more about this later. It's one of the best balanced paddles I've seen. Love the design, looks really nice. So touching quickly on the dimensions. It's a 16.5-inch length. So very similar in height. The width is 7.5. Again, very similar. And it's still coming at a 16mm thickness paddle. Weight, this comes around 8 and that comes around 8.1. Again, very similar.
Yep, the big difference is just the traditional edge versus your edgeless, right?
Yes. And so the other big difference is the surface, right? Carbon fiber surface.
Yep.
This is a Kevlar carbon fiber surface. And when you kind of look at the material, you see this weave. It's this really thin, close weave, and we'll put some pictures up there. Whereas this, you see that carbon fiber. It's very different to other carbon fibers.
Yes.
Right? It's got this very thin weave.
Yep. Which is what makes it feel smooth, but it still generates tons of spin.
Yes, but there is lots of fibers in there that's still grabbing and catching that ball. And we'll kind of talk about the playability as we talk about spin and how it dwells on the surface of the paddle. How would you categorize this paddle?
So I would say it still fits into the all-around category, but it's definitely oriented towards the control side. But I still wouldn't consider it a full-on control paddle.
Yes. I mean, it's got all the flavors of an all-round paddle, but it shines in the control, and hence why we want to just push it a little bit towards the control. So let's start right there.
Yes.
Let's talk about the control, because the control on this is beautiful.
Yes, that was my favorite part. So I actually played with the CF3 for a couple weeks. This was my only paddle I had been playing with. And I noticed I was lacking a little on controlling a lot of the really fast-paced balls because it had quite a lot of pop. And for me, the KC1, that was one of two things that blew me away that I'll talk about in this video. Was the control was incredible. I mean, it had just a beautiful dwell with, you could hit the ball. It had a pretty large sweet spot on it.
Yes.
And in particular on the control was what my favorite part was when I was at the kitchen line, when I was hitting like my backhand dinks, I could consistently get that backspin on the ball. It was effortless. I remember we were recording our shots of me hitting with some backspin. I'm like, this is so easy. I feel like I can't screw it up. And it just really lets like a player that's around like a 4-0, like consistently hit your dinks with that backspin on it with that amazing dwell that it had.
And I think one thing that we have realized is when we take up edgeless paddles, we find it a little bit harder to dial in that control because there is no weight around. But for some odd reason, this, as soon as you took that control, was right there.
Absolutely.
And I think the next thing we should talk about, jump in, is the spin. It had a ton of spin.
Yes.
And I think it also accounts to the balance of the paddle and the dwell on it. It had this really nice dwell where it felt like it stayed just enough where you can put it exactly where you wanted. And the reason I've been harping on the balance is when I went and picked this paddle up, I was like balancing it vertically and horizontally, and I was talking to Lou as well. They have really taken that extra measure to make sure that everything that's put in here is well weighted. Because most of the paddles, they make it, they throw in something just like, to put the handle in and approximately balance it. That's not what she has done. And there are some clips where she is now partnered with some aerospace engineers, and they've really taken that extra effort to balance it. And it shows when you play.
Yes.
Put together a team of engineers, product development experts, and advanced composite manufacturing people to bring a range of innovation.
I'm Lachlan, Head of Design at Javelin Aerospace. A year ago, Standout approached us and asked us if we could apply what we knew about aerospace and material design to help them develop the world's most competitive pickleball paddles. Aerospace is different to pickleball, obviously, but if you're talking about engineering, then a lot of the same principles apply. For example, we were able to look at material selection, specifically advanced composites, weight reduction, drag optimization, center of mass and moment of inertia, and how all of these things translated into power delivery at the ball. The key for us was to combine and tweak all of these things in the perfect ratios to create the best possible paddle for each purpose.
Right? So let's talk about spin.
So the spin on this paddle, I mean, again, you hinted on it. That combination of the dwell and this mixed surface of the Kevlar and carbon fiber, I mean, it is at that top tier. It's just ridiculous. When you're hitting the ball fast, if you're hitting it slow, it's competing at the very top level of paddles that we have today.
Yes, and it feels very maneuverable.
Yes.
It's very light. I mean,
that's the part I wanted to talk
exactly.
about.
So let's go right into that, right? The swing weight on this comes about 110 compared to about 117. The twist weight is like 6.3 on this and about 6.5. And it felt bigger. The sweet spot felt extremely big on this.
Yeah, for me, the biggest improvement on this paddle, honestly, compared to any paddle we've tested, is the first time you handed this paddle to me, I remember just, acting like I was at the kitchen line, and I was like, this thing is the most maneuverable paddle I've ever seen.
I agree.
I mean, it is ridiculous. You would never guess. I mean, that weight is so well distributed. It's hard to like explain it in words, but it makes such a difference when you're at the kitchen and you have to have fast hands when you have a guy playing with the gearbox, smashing the ball at you. You can react so much quicker with a paddle like this. It's insane.
Yeah, and if that just also translated to the pop. There was pop to this. Not as, I mean, this just comes off. This is a real power paddle. And we'll put like side-by-side videos to it. What I saw, like recording from the other side, even when it veered off a little bit, you still had that same amount of projection.
Still give a good result.
Whereas, like lots of our other paddles, when you went to the edge, like you missed it.
Yep. And I wonder if that could be attributed to, the people are religious on having it be edgeless. I don't know if that makes the difference. I don't know what it is, but the sweet spot was quite impressive.
Yes. Let's go to power.
So going into power, that's like, the big, I want to say, downfall compared to the CF3. This thing launches missiles. I mean, lots of great power. And it's not like the KC1 is lacking at all. I'd say it's more like that, it's your like traditional middle of the road. It hits pretty hard, but there's just so many paddles coming out, like like the Jula Gen 3s, right? Those hit super hard. There's lots of, that's kind of where the game's been moving. And this is definitely a few notches below that in terms of the power. But that's okay because, that's not what this paddle is aimed to do.
Yes. I mean, it's a control-oriented paddle. It's got power, but I mean, if you're looking for a power paddle, I would go with something like this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a power paddle. But if you're looking for a spin, friendly, control-oriented, light, very maneuverable paddle.
Very quick hands.
Oh my goodness, it's so easy to take and play with. Let's touch on which type of player would love this. I mean,
So basically, unless you're looking to be play like an absolute banger, I think then this is an awesome option, right? And it actually fits my game pretty well. I like to hit mainly lots of drops, work my way to the kitchen, and then it goes hand in hand, right? It's easy to hit your drops. You're gonna win in the dink games, and if they speed it up at you, you have quick hands, right? The only thing where you're gonna be sacrificing a little bit is hitting some of those drives or overheads. But if you already generate quite a bit of power on your own, you won't have an issue.
And I have to say, you will see significant topspin on those drives. When we hit some of those, it dipped, it stayed low. So if you know how to hit topspin, you are going to capitalize on that side of it. And it's very adaptable. It was such an easy paddle just to take and play. So I mean, even a beginner will find it easy to play. There are some paddles like even this. I would say, hey, if you're a beginner,
you have to. It's hard. It's a little tough to learn the control. It does offer good control on most balls, but once you start playing some better people, like I noticed, it's a little tougher for me to control that unless you were maybe like a 4-5 or a 5-0 player and you really have learned how to develop super good touch. I could see the CF3 being absolutely lethal.
Yeah.
The KC1 is more forgiving. This
Yes,
is easier
it is
for beginners
extremely
to play.
forgiving. It's very easy to play. And then even higher level players, I think you put a little, it's so balanced.
Yeah.
You put any weight, you don't have to worry about the balance. You can put it anywhere, increase that, and get banging on it, get what I mean? One thing I did want to touch is cleaning it. It does absorb a lot of dust. I'll put a link to this. It's a microfiber cloth. You know, you don't use the regular paddle erasers.
Yep.
Take it and you rub it, and it kind of clears up. So that's an easy way for you guys to clean it.
So the current MSRP for the KC1 is $195. You can save some money. Make sure to use our code. Check the description for it. It'll help give you a nice discount.
And anyone that wants to buy it in the southern Minneapolis area, reach out to us. We'll make sure you get a good deal. We like helping people get paddles. Talking about helping people get paddles.
Back to the giveaway. So we appreciate giving back to those of you that are watching our videos. So we currently are giving away a Hoot F Viva Pro Gen 3. Make sure to check that video out. That giveaway will be ending on May 10th, but make sure to enter that giveaway as well. And going back to the KC1 that we're giving away, you'll have to make sure you like this video, drop a comment as to why we should pick you.
And please subscribe.
And you'll have to be subscribed as well to enter. So same applies to the Hoot F giveaway. This giveaway will be ending on May 17th. So make sure to do those 3 items before then to have your chance at winning your own KC1.
Again, thanks for watching. We really enjoy this paddle. We enjoy doing these reviews. We enjoy helping people get paddles. That's what our passion is. So please subscribe. That's how we keep this paddle review channel going. Comment, we love hearing from you, and hope to see you in another paddle review.